When I'm talking with families who are contemplating a move to the Greater Nashville area, one of the first questions that comes up is where should we be looking in Nashville proper itself, which is in Davidson County, or maybe some of the southern suburbs such as Franklin, Nolensville, Brentwood, which is in Williamson County. My name's Jennifer Turberfield with Benchmark Realty, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing the 4 surprising things between Davidson County and Williamson County, which you need to know before moving here. Number 1 is the homes, or more specifically, the area that the homes are in. So Nashville is in Davidson County. So if you consider the urban development of any city, it starts off as a hub and kind of spreads out. The urban sprawl kind of moves as developers and builders kind of buy up the land and build on it. So Nashville, with it being older, is a bit more organic. We have just streets that have all hodgepodge of different homes on because people bought a plot of land and built what they wanted on it. Whereas when you come down to Williamson County, what you're going to see is a lot more planning, master plan communities, and that means that builders and developers kind of bought a large scale plot of land and then considered how they were going to divide it up. You know, we're going to put the clubhouse here, we're going to have 28 homes in this phase, then we're going to have 50 homes in this phase, and we're going to have sidewalks. So a lot more orchestration, a lot more planning. So with those communities come HOAs, homeowners associations. So you do get the rules and regulations when you're buying into kind of a subdivision. Davidson County, it's a lot more organic. There's a much higher density of homes as you get with a city, but less HOAs and less subdivisions. Number 2, the second big difference between Williamson County and Davidson County is the property taxes. Now, this surprises people why there is such a difference between the 2 counties, but there is, and you need to be aware of this because it makes a difference. So just to give you some examples, I've got some notes that I'm looking at here. On $1 million home in Franklin, you are looking at about $3,200 a year in property taxes. That same $1 million home in Brentwood, you'd be looking about $3,400, $3,500. In Nolensville, similar to Franklin, more like $3,200, $3,150, something like that per year for property taxes. Take that same $1 million in the areas of Davidson, for example, 12 South, and you're looking at $6,800 per year. In property taxes. That $1 million in Green Hills, you're talking about just under $7,000 a year, and $1 million in Belmead, if you can find something in Belmead for $1 million, is about $6,500. So there's a bit of variance in each county according to the city that you're in and the area that you're in, but do bear in mind Davidson County is running at nearly double the property taxes of Williamson County. The third big difference between Williamson County and Davidson County is the schools. Now in Williamson County, there are 2 school systems called Williamson County Schools, which comprises of about 40,000 students, approximately, don't hold me to that, and then a much smaller district called Franklin Special School District. Now I think I probably need to do a separate video on that because people get confused about that, but Franklin Special School District only has less than 4,000 students. Now, the big school district in Davidson County is Metro National Schools. Now, Williamson County is the leading county in all of Tennessee, and in fact, it's a leading county nationally for the results that we get. In 2021, the composite ACT scores were 24.9. And in 2022, the ACT scores for Williamson County were 24.7. So they have a consistent record of excellence. And we have such fantastic schools that when you have neighborhoods where the county kind of divides the neighborhood, and you've got Williamson on one side and then the neighboring county on the other side, whether it's Rutherford or whether it's Murray County or Davidson, the Williamson County side, the home prices always command a premium because of the value of the schools, because our schools are so great. If you go on niche.com, the overall rating of the Williamson County school system is an A. And all the they have about 6 different criteria, whether it's academics, teachers, clubs, extracurriculum. In Williamson County, they're either A, A+, or A-. The only bad grade Williamson County gets, according to niche.com, is for diversity. They get a C+. So obviously some work is needed there in terms of diversity. When you compare that to Metro Nashville schools, the overall rating is a B-. So Williamson County definitely is a massive plus when it comes to our schools. What Davidson has is a lot of our private schools. So if you look at the heavy hitter private schools, and what I mean by that is that the real kind of well-known ones, the big ones, you're talking Ensworth, Franklin Road Academy, Montgomery Bell Academy, Harpeth Hall, they are in South Davidson. There are a few private schools in Williamson, such as Battleground Academy, Brentwood Academy, Grace Christian Academy, I think, over on the west-hand side, and numerous others. I've got a whole kind of download on schools, but yeah, so some of the private schools are in Davidson, or most of the private schools are in Davidson, but the Williamson County school system, the public system, is fabulous. And number 4, the last big difference between Davidson County and Williamson County, can you guess? It's the politics. So Davidson and Williamson are very different when it comes to voting. In the last presidential election, Williamson County voted 62% Republican and 36% Democrat, with the rest voting independent. Whereas if you look at Davidson County in the last presidential election, 64.5% voted Democrat, with 32% voting Republican. In every presidential election since the year 2000, Davidson County has voted Democrat, and in Williamson County, it's always been Republican. So personally, I've lived in both Davidson and Williamson County, and I think on a day-to-day basis, this doesn't really impact too much when it comes to your everyday life. But obviously, if your neighbour's yard signs at elections wind you up, this is something else you need to be mindful of. So there we have the 4 main differences between Davidson and Williamson County. And if you're contemplating a move to this area and you aren't quite sure where to look, give me a call and I'll help you figure it out.